Germany was supposed to be the model, the proof that a modern industrial nation could abandon fossil fuels, shut down nuclear power, go green, and still thrive. Politicians praised it. Environmentalists celebrated it. The world watched it. $500 billion were spent. Carbon neutrality was promised. Energy independence was declared inevitable. And yet, years later, Germany found itself facing soaring electricity prices, energy insecurity, industrial decline, and a dangerous dependence it never planned for. So here's the mystery we're unpacking today. How did one of the most disciplined, technologically advanced economies in the world turn a green revolution into a $500 billion energy trap? This isn't an anti-renewables story. It's a cause and effect story about incentives, politics, and unintended consequences. Setting the stage, Germany's post-war energy identity. To understand Germany's decision, you have to understand its history. After World War II, Germany rebuilt itself around industrial efficiency, engineering excellence, export-driven growth. Energy was the backbone of this model. Cheap, stable power-fueled, heavy manufacturing, automotive giants, chemical industries, machine tools sold worldwide. By the 1990s, Germany had a balanced energy mix. Coal, natural gas, nuclear power. It wasn't perfect, but it was reliable. Then something changed, not economically, but politically and culturally. Origins: the birth of the Energiewende. In the early 2000s, Germany launched a bold project, Energiewende, meaning energy transition. The goal sounded simple: phase out fossil fuels, expand renewable energy, lead the global fight against climate change. Key decisions followed: massive subsidies for wind and solar, guaranteed prices for renewable producers, long-term commitments backed by taxpayers. At the time, it seemed visionary. Renewables were the future. Early investment would bring technological leadership. But embedded in this plan was a critical assumption: that renewable energy could replace baseload power without destabilizing the system. That assumption would later prove costly. The rise, subsidies, symbolism, and speed money flooded into green energy. Between the early 2000s and 2020s, Germany spent over $500 billion on renewable expansion. Wind farms spread across the countryside. Solar panels covered rooftops and fields. Politically, it was untouchable. Questioning it meant opposing climate action. Costs were framed as investments in the future, and for a while, the numbers looked good. Installed renewable capacity surged. Emissions appeared to decline. Germany gained moral authority on climate policy. But capacity isn't the same as reliability. And reliability is where the cracks began to form. The critical turn: abandoning nuclear power. Then came the decision that changed everything. After the Fukushima disaster in 2011, Germany announced all nuclear power would be phased out. This wasn't an economic decision. It was a political one. Nuclear plants provided stable baseload energy, low carbon emissions, domestic energy security. Shutting them down meant something else had to fill the gap. Renewables couldn't, not consistently. So Germany turned to what seemed like a temporary solution: natural gas. The hidden dependence. Russia enters the picture. Russian gas was cheap, abundant, reliable, until it wasn't. Germany built pipelines, not redundancy; contracts, not alternatives. The logic was simple: gas would stabilize the grid while renewables scaled up. But this created a silent dependency. As nuclear disappeared and coal declined, gas became essential, not optional. Germany didn't just import gas. It structured its entire energy system around it. The risk was ignored. The breaking point when reality arrived fast. First, energy prices began rising. Renewables required backup systems. Grid upgrades became expensive. Subsidy costs were passed to consumers. German households ended up paying some of the highest electricity prices in the world. Then came the geopolitical shock. When Russian gas supplies were disrupted, Germany's energy model collapsed. Under pressure, suddenly, factories faced shutdowns, chemical plants reduced output. Energy-intensive industries threatened relocation. The green transition had created vulnerability, not resilience. The fallout, economic consequences. The costs weren't just financial. Industrial competitiveness weakened. Businesses questioned long-term investment. Energy security became a national concern. Ironically, Germany reopened coal plants to avoid blackouts. Carbon emissions temporarily rose. Climate goals slipped. The transition meant to future-proof the economy had instead exposed it. Failed fixes. Why adjustments fell short? Germany tried to respond. Emergency subsidies, energy price caps accelerated renewable expansion, but these were patches, not solutions. The core problem remained. Renewables alone could not yet provide stable baseload power at scale, and rebuilding nuclear capacity was politically toxic. Germany had locked itself into a narrow path, with few exits. Modern parallels. The pattern repeats globally. Germany isn't alone. Other countries now face similar choices. Speed versus stability, ideology versus infrastructure, targets versus physics. The pattern repeats. Political urgency, massive spending, ignored trade-offs, dependence shifts. Not disappears, costs land on citizens. Green transitions fail not because renewables don't work, but because systems are redesigned faster than reality allows. The real lesson: the green energy trap. Germany's mistake wasn't ambition, it was sequencing. It removed reliable energy sources before replacements were fully ready. It replaced energy independence with geopolitical risk. It treated energy as a moral project instead of an engineering system. That's the trap. When symbolism outruns systems, costs multiply silently until they can't be hidden anymore. 3 key takeaways. First, energy transitions must prioritize reliability before ideology. Second, subsidies can hide costs, but never eliminate them. Third, true sustainability requires redundancy, not dependency shifts. Final warning: the question for the future Germany's experience raises a larger question. Can modern societies redesign critical systems without respecting physical and economic limits? Or will the rush to appear virtuous create vulnerabilities far worse than the problems it tries to solve?